Who is a bigger threat in Delhi, AAP or Congress?
There's no threat. BJP is coming into power, so no threat. Neelamji, I would recommend let's not underestimate the political maturity of the voter anywhere. And certainly not the Delhi voter. The Delhi voter has seen it all. And they've seen Mr. Kejriwal, the man who came, मैं आम आदमी हूँ, मैं मफलर पहनूंगा, वैगन आर की फ्रंट सीट पे बैठूंगा, लाल बत्ती नहीं लूंगा, सरकारी गाड़ी नहीं लूंगा.
In that rally, he talked about the similarities between Prime Minister Narendra Modi as well as Arvind Kejriwal, and how they both are indulging in same politics.
Genuine young mind. I don't want to use the Balak Buddhi term. Genuinely young mind. Anyone who can compare Mr. Modi with Mr. Kejriwal really needs to go back to the drawing board.
One of the biggest drawbacks that many experts and even within BJP leaders point out is the absence of a CM face. Kejriwal against whom? So how do you tackle that?
This is a absurd way of thinking. We are a party of Karyakartas. You've been covering politics for many years. Did you hear of the names of the current chief ministers of Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh before they were appointed?
We recently saw the statement of your candidate Ramesh Biduri, who's contesting from Kalka ji.
Look, as far as I am concerned, I am married to a feminist. I have two daughters who are feminist. Let's leave that aside. What was said or not said, I don't know. I think he's apologized for it, and we should get on.
He's only apologized for one, Priyanka Gandhi.
I don't even know what he said, and I'm not interested. The point of the matter is, those are actions which they'll be dealt with separately.
The Bharatiya Janata Party has won Delhi only once, and that too way back in 1993. The party is now confident that the 2025 elections are a golden opportunity for it to come to power. We have with us Union Minister of Petroleum and Natural Gas, Hardeep Singh Puri, to discuss Delhi as well as other issues in greater detail. So before I start Delhi-related, question, how has been your transition from that of a diplomat to a politician?
The transition by itself has been seamless. If you want to take this at a non-serious level, you could argue that I must have been a politician as a civil servant. Or conversely, that whilst I'm a politician now, I continue to be a civil servant. No, I think the truthful answer is that whether you are in academia or in journalism or a civil servant or in politics, whatever you have been tasked to do, you do with a degree of commitment and seriousness. And that applies to all professions. By nature, I think I'm reasonably hardworking. So I put in long hours in a day. And whatever task is assigned to me, yes, originally there were some misgivings initially, especially in the first year or so of my ministership. This is my 8th year going now. I spent 39 years in the Foreign Service. I spent 6 years in the world of international think tanking, if you can call it. This is not think tank, it's do tanking, doing. And 8 years as a minister. So I've been around for a while. But now one doesn't know the difference. I used to put in a 12, 14 hours day then. I put in 18 hours a day now, 7 days a week. So whether you're a civil servant or a minister, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Well, coming back to Delhi, one of the biggest drawbacks that many experts and, even within BJP leaders point out is the absence of a CM face. Kejriwal against whom? So how do you tackle that?
This is a absurd way of thinking. Leadership is not something which is either predetermined. Leaders grow. And the Bharatiya Janata Party is, unlike communist parties which are cadre-based in a different form, we are a party of Karyakartas. You've been covering politics for many years. Did you hear of the names of the current chief ministers of Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh before they were appointed? You agonize about a CM's face if you have a dearth of talent. Today in Delhi, you have no shortage of leaders of the BJP. There are people here who've been party presidents. I know at least of 2 of them who were party president, Delhi BJP presidents. They've had distinguished careers otherwise. There are people who are who have been 4-time MLAs, who could stake a claim. There are newcomers in the party, very well educated, steeped in the party in activities, people who worked in different morchas. So there's no shortage, etc. I think Mr. Kejriwal, for want of anything worthwhile to say, he has been saying Mr. X is going to be the Delhi BJP CM
He's
face.
talked about Biduri,
Yeah,
Paresh
the
Verma.
issue is you first make up your own mind as to who will be your CM. Will it be the temporary CM or the interim CM or a former CM? Since every party decides that once it gets elected, and I'm reasonably sure that we'll get elected, even though it's still early days, but things are looking good. And after that will come a determination. Somebody completely from the outside, in terms of whom nobody is speculating on, could also be the CM face.
So, the party has made it into a Kejriwal-centric campaign, whether it is Sheesh Mahal, the alleged, corruption charges, or you look at the liquor policy. Kejriwal is at the center of the campaign. So, don't you think that, the party itself is in a way targeting only Kejriwal rather than, looking at the entire government, the overall functioning?
You mean the BJP?
Yeah.
I don't think that's the case. We are actually focusing, and it's having an impact on the lack of delivery by the Aam Aadmi Party government for the last 10 years. If you look at their manifestos of 2015 and 20 and look at all the guarantees that they had provided, then it's the Aam Aadmi Party which had to deliver. Kejriwal is the face of that Aam Aadmi Party. And he continues to be the face of the Aam Aadmi Party in spite of the fact that there is a temporary chief minister. Is that good or bad? I don't know. But it is Mr. Kejriwal who makes it. There are a couple of other stalwarts there, very loud on volume and decibel level. People who have a habit of jumping into the well of the house when it was differently constructed and standing on the table and doing those antics. But they don't count for anything. I mean, they are about as serious as any other member of the Aam Aadmi Party. But this is a party which distinguishes itself in using the mob as an instrument of policy. They're the same people who summoned the chief secretary of the government in the middle of the night and had him beaten up. They are the same people who raided one of their senior civil servants' rooms and took the files away. One of their MPs was beaten up by the chief minister's bouncer in the chief minister's residence. So they are unconventional, to say the least. But I think what they've got really got caught on this time is the culture of this corruption with impunity. And they've got caught because people now are in a position to remind them that your beginnings were during the anti-corruption agitation of Anna Hazare ji, and now you become the most corrupt outfit not only in India, but perhaps you vie for pride of place even amongst the corrupt outfits of the world.
The party is also banking on brand Modi. So do you think it would be fair to call it a Modi versus Kejriwal campaign?
I mean, you can't get an ass to run a horse's race. Where is Mr. Modi and where is Kejriwal? Mr. Modi has 10 years, not only as Prime Minister with solid delivery. Even after 10 years, the NDA Alliance pre-poll got 293, which is a good 21 above the required number. He was also before that chief minister for many years, and he ran a state. So there's no comparison there. The party will always continue to draw inspiration from the Honorable Prime Minister for the simple reason that he epitomizes and manifests in his personality the Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, the growth. And that growth, for instance, you were the 11th or 10th largest economy in 2014. Today, we are the 5th largest. During this year itself, we'll become the 4th largest, and within a year or two, the 3rd largest economy in the world. That economic growth is what is behind this fact that Mr. Modi has exemplified that good governance is good politics. So when you talk about Mr. Modi, it's good governance, which becomes good politics. You talk about Mr. Kejriwal, it's the opposite. I mean, he believes in the opposite of good governance. He believes in disruption. He believes, but disruption not of the positive kind. He believes in lying his way through. He said in 2015 and again in 2020, if I don't clean up the Jamuna ji, I will not come and ask you for a vote. Well, he's here back a third time, and the only discussion on the Jamuna Ji is whether it's polluted 500 times more than the prescribed levels or 2,000 times more.
You must have seen Congress leader Rahul Gandhi addressed a rally yesterday, and he sort of,
Yes, I believe he's back from his holiday.
well,
No, I mean, he takes so many holidays. I was asking someone, what is the prescribed number of days in a year which you have to be in India or outside to qualify as a non-resident Indian?
So in that rally, he talked about the similarities between Prime Minister Narendra Modi as well as Arvind Kejriwal, and how they both are indulging in same politics.
Genuine young mind. I don't want to use the Balak Buddhi term, but genuinely young mind. Anyone who can compare Mr. Modi with Mr. Kejriwal really needs to go back to the drawing board.
But do you think Delhi is going to witness a triangular contest this time, the Aam Aadmi Party, Congress and the BJP?
Neelamji, I am one of those who believes that democracy must have full participation. If you are a registered political party and if you say that I am the national party, although in 3 elections between 2014, 19 and 24, all put together didn't even get 200 seats. In 3 elections put together. But I still believe that they will participate. Whether they participate with full force or not, I think this election, the contours of the competition and the what is at stake has not yet unfolded. I see the Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party, BJP and the others also participating in full force. Yeah.
I just want to understand, because I talked about it, when I started the interview, that the BJP has been able to come to power in Delhi only once. Right from Northeast.
I don't like to
Yes,
I don't like to interrupt you.
Yes,
but
please.
We won all 7 seats in all the parliamentary
Yes,
elections.
I meant Delhi Assembly elections.
Is it a different voter? Do you bring people in from Himachal to vote for the other election? No. It's the same voter. If 7 seats can be won in 2014, in 2019, and again in 24, and the MCD elections can be won, then the voters. But what has happened is that in the Delhi Assembly, there's for a period of time, there's an expression in the English language: truth was bending to tie its shoelaces, whilst the lie traveled thrice around the world. This man has been BSing. He has been concocting false narratives. So it's happened twice. You had 15 years of Congress earlier, then 10 years of Aam Aadmi Party. Now you'll have at least 10 years of the BJP. So then we'll discuss. The voter is the same. I think the reaching out to the voter sometimes in a different election takes a different form. I have no doubt that this time the Delhi voter, look, Neelamji, I would recommend, let's not underestimate the political maturity of the voter anywhere. And certainly not the Delhi voter. The Delhi voter has seen it all. And they've seen Mr. Kejriwal, the man who came, मैं आम आदमी हूँ, मैं मफलर पहनूंगा, वैगन आर की फ्रंट सीट पे बैठूंगा, लाल बत्ती नहीं लूंगा, सरकारी गाड़ी नहीं लूंगा. One of my colleagues asked for filed an application for RTI. And you know how much money the government of National Capital Territory of Delhi has spent on his cars? 1.45 crores. You know how much they spent on Manish Sisodia's cars? 45 lakh. The guy didn't want a car. My friend Mr. Bakshi and some others, Harish Khurana and one more person, they filed an RTI claim, application about the scam in the construction of classrooms. It's unbelievable. And that's coming home to roost now. I'd not be surprised if, they get into deep trouble. This is an old RTI application. So the point I'm making is, he said in 2012, by the way, 17th November to be precise, because that's my mother's birthday and I remember the date 17th November, कि अगर CAG ना होता तो कांग्रेस देश को बेच चुकी होती. It's a very strong statement. So I want to ask you, through you, madam, 14 CAG reports are pending. Yesterday, when the matter came up in the Delhi High Court, the learned judge said, and I quote, "The way you have handled this matter casts serious doubts on your bona fides." Now, that is a polite language of a judge. in your and my language, you are perhaps more polite. It says, you guys are full of, X. You are liars. 14 CAG reports ranging from finance, from health, education, Sheesh Mahal. They've been sitting on it. Why? The very fact that you delay, you sit on a CAG report in and of itself is indication of wrongdoing. The CAG report doesn't fall from the top. Somebody files a complaint or they look into an issue, all parties are given an opportunity to comment on it, and yet you don't comment on it. Or you comment on it and then you're caught and then you sit on the report. I mean, the correct thing would have been, as soon as the CAG report became available, should have sent it to the Speaker of the Assembly and to the LG. And he should have asked for a discussion on the floor of the House on the charges there. So I think as we go along from now to the 5th of February, all this will come more and more into the public domain. And I think the truth will be before the people of Delhi.
But they did manage to win the municipal election. They did come to power twice.
Well, I think some people are diverted. This will happen. Sometimes the voter says कि अच्छा ठीक है center में तो है यहाँ पे इनको मौका दे देते हैं. But I think that is gone. I think that point has been reached now.
Well, slums have also become a major flashpoint between the Aam Aadmi Party government and the BJP government at the center. You must have seen that the statements by the Aam Aadmi Party leaders who have said that if BJP will come to power, they will raise all these slums that are there. Of course, a charge denied by the BJP. But do you think this can hurt?
This guy is bonkers. This guy is bonkers. We have a stated policy. What does he say if BJP comes to us? The stated policy is part of the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. When it came into being in 2015 June, there are 4 verticals under it. One is ISSR, in situ slum rehabilitation. And what we did in Kalkaji, I was then the Housing and Urban Affairs Minister, which I was for 7 years. And what happened? 3,200 beautifully constructed modern flats with all amenities were given to you call them slum dwellers, I call them dwellers in informal settlements. And I was standing next to the Prime Minister when one such beneficiary, a husband and wife, came. So Modi ji asked them about them. They said that their family from Bengal. They said that they had one daughter who was studying English at Miranda House. Look at the transformation in their lives to go from a jhuggi jhopdi into this thing. Look, the honest God's truth is that this whole Swachhta campaign, giving people a home with a toilet inside, contrary to the earlier situation where people were having to go to relieve yourselves out into the fields, the women would either choose not to go into the field or go early in the morning. It's a very different. We built something like 12 or 14 crore toilets. We built public toilets, community toilets. We built 4 crore. What is he talking about? 4 crore beneficiaries of Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, both Gramin and urban. And the Prime Minister's promised another 3 crore. So when I say something and unko chupta hai, then he says, uska kya hua, uska kya hua? Arey मैंने एक ट्वीट में सारा लिस्ट करके हमने ये किया. आप ये मोहल्ला क्लिनिक वर्ल्ड क्लास बता रहे थे. अगर मोदी जी ने 224 करोड़ वो वैक्सीन बना के मुफ्त नहीं बांटी होती, where were your mohalla clinics? Equally, schools. They were supposed to build a sports university in Mundka, didn't build it. They said they would do it by 2024. When you ask him now, नहीं अगले 5 साल बना दो. अगले 5 साल होंगे नहीं. Look, they've been literally caught with their pants down. And today, I think the time has come for Kejriwal to respond to the people of Delhi, who will give him a befitting reply.
You just mentioned your tenure as Housing and Urban Affairs Minister. Well, there was a scheme called PMUD Scheme, which was to overall benefit 10 lakh people residing in unauthorized colonies. Yeah. And I believe 1.5 lakh people had applied. And as per data, only 28,000 have got it so far.
No, it's not. It's not that. What has happened is this thing. First of all, the scheme was supposed to be brought by the state government in 2006. I became housing minister in 2017. And when I became housing minister, it's one of the first things I attended to. I kept writing letters to Mr. Kejriwal, कि इसको बताइए, लाइए. In 2019, he finally told me, or rather made a statement, saying that they needed to do an assessment of how many people were involved. And as a result of which, they will take another 2.5 years. That's when I went to the Prime Minister, and the Prime Minister said, enough is enough. Kejriwal is not going to act on this. He was stopping everything. Metro construction, he was slowing down. RRTS, he didn't want to take part in till the Supreme Court intervened. So finally, in 2019, the month of November, I remember the date very well because my younger daughter was getting married. And I had to forego a part of the marriage ceremony because I had to pilot this bill in the Lok Sabha. So the scheme was approved, but then 2 years of COVID came. And those 2 years of COVID, nothing could move. The registration couldn't done. Now the scheme is picking up. I don't remember the exact figure of registration, but the scheme is picking up. And we are also going to do development, not me, means the government, the Housing and Urban Affairs Ministry through the DDO. And this scheme is going to see the light of day very well. The progress was not as much because of COVID for 2 years. Then again, when COVID ended in 22, we picked it up again. But at every stage, Mr. Kejriwal has been a dampener. You know, the sub-registrars were under him. They wouldn't do the work. But today, now it's beginning to pick scheme again.
Well, I also have a counter question to that, you know, if people residing in this unauthorized colony, many of them have also encroached upon government land. So,
that's not going to be permitted. Okay. Those who are on government lands will have to. So, no government can permit encroachment on government land. What happens, the politicians on the ground sometimes get a feeling that they want to with the people. But if it's encroached land, they're not going to be permitted.
A few years back, if you remember, PM had spoken about this Revdi culture. And if we see today, you know, right from Maharashtra to Madhya Pradesh to other BJP ruled states, we see such similar schemes being rolled out. Similarly, in Delhi also, we hear that in the manifesto there will be such schemes.
No, so, I don't want to comment on the Revdi culture in the context of Delhi because the BJP manifesto still has to come out.
Right.
So I cannot be saying something anticipating what's in it or not in. But there is a fundamental philosophical difference between what the BJP says and does and what the opposition parties do. Two things. One is that the BJP is a party in office. So when we say something, we have to deliver. And we have to deliver because we have to find the resources. Whereas if a party is in opposition, it can make any claim it wants to, knowing fully well it's not going to come in, but it will be held as a benchmark. Like one of the parties has said, for every unemployed youth, we will give 8,500 rupees. Arey bhai, 8,500, 9,000 ki naukri nahi mil rahi. If you can give it, well done. I would support that party if it was doable. But the point of the matter is, we have to be responsible when we do it. There's a fundamental difference. Let me tell you, you talk about 300 units of free electricity. प्रधानमंत्री जी हैज अ स्कीम विच इज सोलर रूफटॉप. आप आइए हमारे पास, हमसे पैसे लीजिए, सब्सिडी देंगे, आप उस सब्सिडी के साथ एक सोलर रूफटॉप लगाइए. वंस यू पुट द सोलर रूफटॉप, यू प्रोड्यूस फ्री इलेक्ट्रिसिटी. 300 यूनिट आप अपने आवास के इस्तेमाल के लिए ले लीजिए फॉर योर परिवार. जो बाकी हो, नीचे चार्जिंग स्टेशन लगा लो, उसमें ईवी चार्ज कर लो, और उसके बाद जो बचे उसको ग्रिड में डाल दो. ग्रिड में जो डालोगे उसके पैसे हम आपको दे देंगे. नाउ दिस इज प्रोडक्टिव. This will give you the facility without it being a race to the bottom. Otherwise, Neelam ji, you'll have a race to the bottom. ये एक स्टेट है, दूसरे 10 साल में सिंह मैं ज्यादा दे दूंगा, and in the end all will go bust. So there's a fundamental difference. But as I said, I would have a detailed discussion with you, and I look forward to it after the BJP manifesto has come out. Otherwise, it becomes unfair.
Right. AAP has also targeted you personally regarding some of your, previous posts.
Then I have clarified it 100. I told them, do you think these people, Rohingyas, will come and vote for me or for our people? They've got an MLA called Amanatullah. He said कि हमने 10,000 रुपए दिए हैं और लिए हैं रोहिंग्या को सेटल करने के लिए. उसके बाद 5,000 रुपए लिए हैं आधार कार्ड बनाने के लिए. तो ओपन बात कर रहे हैं. उनके 2 और MLAs पकड़े गए हैं अभी. एक कोई महेंद्र गोयल है और एक कोई और है. So, this is, and it's been clarified hundreds of times. So when I needle them and I tell them that they're a bunch of liars, 10 guarantees assured, then they'll say, oh, इनको तो arrest कर लेना चाहिए. अरे भाई, let's talk facts.
Well, BJP is also using a lot of unfulfilled promises made by the Punjab government. So, do you think...
No, but they only because they're contextual.
Yeah. No, so, I was just asking that...
Like 1,000 rupees free to every individual. Are you from Punjab? But you're very successful employed. You can't qualify.
No. My question was that do you think Man government is becoming a liability for Kejriwal?
He told me once when the day was 26th of January. 26 January and 15th August tha of 22. Whenever when the Punjab elections had been held, And he told me he was very worried about who the Chief Minister of Punjab was going to be. So I said, no, why don't you do something? Have the swearing in the morning. So he told me his people are don't even in the morning. So he has been worried, but he told us, give us two guarantees. One, every hen will get 1,000 rupees. So it's been 36 months. I don't think they've got even a single pie. That's why they have to come to Delhi to protest. But there's something more serious. Something more serious. He says, मैं पंजाब को नशा से मुक्ति दूंगा. Every day if you put on television in India, it seems as if the elections are being held in Punjab. They're in Delhi. So these are editorial campaigns where they are advertising, or a Nasha Mukt Chehra is talking to us about all the Rangla Punjab. Kya? What? Bhai, ye kya hai? Rangla Punjab. Haan.
But you must have seen in Punjab, radicals like Sarabjit Singh Khalsa, Amrit Pal planning to form a new party. How do you see, this rise of radicals in Punjab, and any concern for Delhi?
Who forms what party, it doesn't matter. But I am a little worried that this Nasha Mukti that they were supposed to provide, they've actually gone ahead and provided a big impetus to the drug mafia. And that is what, Punjab, I'm a proud Sikh, I'm a Punjabi. There was a time when I joined the Foreign Service, or even 10 years later, or even in between, I joined in 74. Punjab was one of the leading states in the country. I mean, it was economic prosperity, agricultural boon. People were doing very well. Today, all the youth is trying to run away. Some have been captured by the drug culture. Most others want to go to Canada or other places. If they were going to Canada to better their lives, I wouldn't mind. But if they are going to go and do menial jobs there, then it's a cause of worry. So Punjab is a mess, and the Aam Aadmi Party is making it worse.
Well, what makes you confident that BJP will win Delhi? If you could just tell me 3 reasons.
First and foremost, the people of Delhi. Don't underestimate their maturity. A political party can only come and provide a narrative, but ultimately it's the people who decide. All the people in Delhi I talked to, they've all said we've had enough of this guy. So there is one. There is a very strong, rampant anti-incumbency, number one. Number two, the credibility of the Aam Aadmi Party, because of their guarantees and all that, that credibility has been eroded. If I tell you that I'll build you a palace in 2019 or 2024, I'll build so many schools, I'll build so many hospitals, and then they don't come up, then I change my calculation. Instead of schools, I talk about classrooms. And when I'm talking about classrooms, I'm adding toilets to the classroom. The credibility is gone. So, first, anti-incumbency. Secondly, credibility. Third, personal corruption. That is the most important thing now, and all three, Neelamji, feed into each other. It's not just anti-incumbency. The anti-incumbency is getting worse because of the credibility crisis. And the credibility is also getting more eroded because of the corruption. Let me give you an example of the corruption. Atishi turns around and says that she has shortage of money and she wants to collect 40 lakhs for her campaign through crowdfunding. But there's a gentleman whose mother was chief minister. What's his name? Sandeep Dixit. He has said that they've got volunteers working in every constituency who are being paid at the rate of 500 rupees a day. I know those people. They've come and tell me they get paid 500 rupees a day. So per constituency, they're spending 4 or 5 crores. Now, where is that money coming from? I'm not saying it's coming from the liquor scam, liquor gate. Well, if you see the CAG report, again, when it's tabled and fully discussed, we'll find out. But according to that one figure in the paper, the liquor scam resulted in 2,070 plus crores of rupees. Now, the diversion which took place, 100 crores, it started, as I told you, ma'am, as a political startup in the anti-corruption crusade of Anna Hazare. And it ended up being the most corrupt outfit in India, vying for pride of place even amongst the most corrupt outfits in the world.
But similar charges have been leveled against Parvesh Verma, ECS.
No, individual. Yeah. But BJP, on the other hand, if there's a whiff of corruption, we get rid of the people. You know that. So, Parvesh Verma, look, I'm not holding a defense for Parvesh, but Parvesh has said there's an NGO formed 25 years ago at the time of his father, Sahib Singh Verma ji, which was giving blankets in winter. Look, you filed cases against him. Don't equate the two. You have institutionalized corruption in the Aam Aadmi. BJP, any minister or anybody caught with a little bit of doubt will be sidelined.
You must have seen that, during election campaigns, a lot is said which should not be said. We recently saw the statement of, your candidate Ramesh Biduri, who's contesting from Kalka
Look,
ji.
as far as
Yeah.
I am concerned, I'm married to a feminist. I'm married to a feminist. I have two daughters who are feminist. Let's leave that aside. What was said or not said, I don't know. I think he's apologized for it, and we should get on
He's
with it.
only apologized for one, Priyanka
But I
Gandhi.
don't even know what he said, and I'm not interested. The point of the matter is, those are actions which they'll be dealt with separately. Today in the election, the issue is not what statement Mr. Kejriwal has made or what statement Amanatullah has made. Those will be cross-reference. The election is on pollution, it is on clean air index, the election is on Jamuna ji's cleanliness level, the singers. 1 lakh students in class 9 failed in Delhi. 50,000 people in class 11 failed. Something like a very large number of schools have classrooms where the kids don't even have a desk or a bench to sit on. Those are the issues.
Well, my last few questions, you must have seen that Arvind Kejriwal has said that if BJP comes to power, all the welfare schemes that are there in Delhi will be done away with.
No, but are the BJP is in power in the rest of the country? You're still getting 3 meals of dry ration in a day. You understand? Anybody who needs to get vaccinated is going to get vaccinated. You're getting Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana 4. What is he talking about? First of all, he doesn't know the meaning. By the way, we are running the Ayushman Bharat scheme where you get 5 lakhs of rupees per person, per family in 1 year. He's not even implementing it here.
He was specifically talking about electricity and water,
No, but electricity.
buses.
But I'll tell you what electricity, what has happened. One slum got a bill of 34,000 rupees, and 70% of people in Delhi are getting bills over 2,000 rupees. So it's not a free electricity. It's a distorted system of cross-subsidization, whereby you give a few people a little bit and then it goes up and you charge them exorbitant amount. And by the way, as I said, wait for the BJP manifesto.
You must have seen that, India Alliance did fairly well if you look at the 2024 Lok Sabha
It has
elections.
done what?
Fairly well, I'm saying, compared to
You decide fairly well in terms. They got 60 less than us, and the alliance is broken up. In Kashmir, with the new developments as of yesterday, Rahul Gandhi left out, and one senior leader of the India Alliance say India Alliance is not for local election. That means it's only for Lok Sabha election. Next one is 2029. So bye-bye India Alliance. We'll see you in 2029.
So you think it's going to disintegrate?
What do you mean it is going to disintegrate? I like your line. It has disintegrated. Long back.
Okay, last question. Crude oil prices have come down, but
No, they've gone up.
the allegation is
No,
that
I've gone up. Yesterday they went up. Yesterday 81, 82. Look, first of all, crude oil prices means, put it, whether it's 78 or 80 or 75, India has the lowest crude oil prices, lowest petrol and diesel prices. Why? Because the Honorable Prime Minister is committed to providing affordable energy to the common man. You provide beneficiaries of Ujjwala cooking gas for a family for 5 rupees a day. For non-Ujjwala beneficiaries, we provide it at 15 rupees a day. We provide petrol and diesel at the lowest rate in the world. Why? Because we brought down the central excise. We on 2 occasions, November 21, May 22. We also brought it down once earlier. So we do what we can, and the BJP ruled states have reduced their VAT. But the problem is the Congress ruled states and Mr. Aam Aadmi Party. He had actually not brought the prices in Delhi down, but Delhi consumer is mature. They started filling up their tanks in Haryana and UP. That's when he brought it down, because the petrol dealers went and attacked it. Look, international crude prices will come down. And when the time comes to come down, we'll look at these things. But just now, there's under recovery.
But Congress has claimed that 38% prices have come down, but benefits have not been.
But where?
This is Jairam Ramesh's statement.
Jairam Ramesh, answer me. In the last session of Parliament, I didn't even want to have one proper start question, because there's no interest. They know when they know they're lying. The fact of the matter is, all the increases took place in the Congress time. Now, since you have a educated publication, there are two ways of solving a problem when you have a problem. One is you take a loan. So these guys, between 2004 and 14, they floated oil bonds for 1,41,000 crores. and we have to pay back 3,10,000 crores. So 1,41,000 is the bond floated. We have to pay back 3,10,000 crores. वो पंजाबी में कहते हैं ना, कर्जा ले नाना ते पुकते पोता. This is the kind of problem. So these guys have no leg to stand on. And what are they talking about in terms of oil prices, etc.? We have navigated through this turbulence and provided abundance of electricity, affordable, and done the green transition.
One last question. Who is a bigger threat in Delhi, AAP or Congress?
There's no threat. BJP is coming into power, so no threat. Whomever we contest against, we will deal with them.
Well, thank you so much for your
Thank you.
time and thank you so much for such a detailed discussion. This is Neelam Pandey reporting from New Delhi.
Thank you very much.